Welcome back to Convento di San Giacomo in the heart of Italy. Usually it feels very quiet and contemplative at the convent, but these days it is a hive of activity. There are so many different projects getting underway. In this video, I'll introduce you to some of those projects. I'll show you where the new pool will go, and I'll give you the before tour of my apartment, where we'll do a lot of work this year. Probably the most exciting project that is going on at the convent now is the pool. We are going to add a pool. We already have a pool. It's very small. For a hot tub, it would be large, but for a pool, it's just not a pool. It's a great place to sit on a bench inside the pool next to the jets and drink a spritz, but you can't swim in it. We've tried putting pool floats in it, and you can fit one, sometimes two. And then you filled the entire pool. So we are going to build a proper pool. And I've been thinking about this literally for years, trying to figure out where I want to put the pool. And we finally decided, and we've done the drawings, and we've gotten the permission that we need to do it. And this is where it's going to go. On this terrace here, it'll be a long rectangular pool, and we're going to take out all of the hedging and the dead grapevines and have a long rectangular pool in the middle of a lawn on a terrace with a view out over the olive trees of the river. Isn't that going to be amazing? So here is the existing pool, which we're going to keep, and we're going to put heating in that pool. So that will actually become a huge hot tub. And then when you come down the steps here, the new pool will be just around the corner of this huge cypress tree, and we'll run along this terrace. I've put a chair out to give you a kind of idea. It'll run along this terrace through where that hedge is now, about to where that terracotta roof is over the cistern that you see behind the hedge. It'll be about 60 feet long, and it'll be surrounded by lawn on all sides. And it'll have the view of this incredible wall, which I just think is one of the most beautiful parts of the convent up there, and a view of the villa here and the end of the apartment wing, and then a view of the sunset in this direction, and then probably our best view of the whole convent here. It's an incredible position for a pool, isn't it? We have some other huge projects that we're going to be working on too, and I'll be following those with you in these episodes too. We're going to install air conditioning. That's going to be another big project, but absolutely the most fun is going to be building this pool. These little white flowers are carpeting the lawn here. Oh, how pretty. They've dug up the climbing roses that were here before. This is like an outdoor dining area here, and we had these climbing roses all the way along these columns and along the roof here, and the thorns on them would just kind of grab at people's clothing, and they don't flower for most of the year, and the parts that aren't flowering aren't that pretty. The leaves aren't very pretty, so we thought we'll replace it with some jasmine. And here are our new jasmine plants all lined up and ready to go. I am just inhaling the scent of the flowers blossoming on this viburnum hedge down below. I'm up on the terrace above, but from up here I can smell the scent of these flowers so strongly. And I am enjoying it one last time because this hedge is all about to come out for the pool to go in. I've come down to the terrace where the viburnum is, and you can see the side of it facing the sun is just a wall of little flowers right now. Maybe 50 meters long. And the scent is just overwhelming. We are going to try moving the hedge to this overflow parking area. The wooden fence here has deteriorated and it's a little dangerous because there is a ledge at the edge of this parking area. I'm afraid that because the hedge has already flowered this year that it's too late to move it, but we can't wait until next year, so we'll give it a try and see how it goes. Here comes Sanjay now with all of the wooden fence posts in tow. And here we go. We have 4 new jasmine vines growing along these buildings here. They'll be so fragrant and wonderful when we're sitting out here in the summertime. I love this view of Todi when you're coming around the side of the building here, especially at this time of day. It's just past sunset. Well, at San Giacomo it's just past sunset, but look, in Todi, sunset hasn't come just yet because it's a little higher up than we are, but it always just looks so golden. It's so beautiful. Rudy and I are sitting here on the patio outside my apartment, which is just behind me here, and I'm thinking to give you a bit of a tour of my apartment, which you'll see momentarily is a bold decision for me to make. My apartment is kind of it's really shameful to think that I've had this apartment for over 2 years now and I've never really moved into it. It's basically just been a staging ground for all of the projects that have been going on at the convent. It's not comfortable. It's not organized. Many of my belongings are not even in the apartment. Many of them are in boxes in various storage rooms. It's full of various things that don't belong to me, that were left here by the previous owner, that I have not done anything with. And on most days, it is just a mess of boxes and furniture and things that are kind of passing through on their way somewhere else within the convent. It's basically like a studio space, an office space, a workshop, a storage room. Those words would better describe my apartment than the word apartment. It's not a space that I really live in. I one day woke up and looked around and realized that I need to live here. I need to make a home here. I need to be in this for the long haul. And that means feeling at home here. And I don't feel at home here yet. Over Christmas was really the first time that I felt a sense of home here. And that was a big turning point for me. And now I need to do everything else that's involved in creating a home for oneself, starting with making the apartment a place that I love to be, that's comfortable, where everything in my possession has a place where it belongs. That's kind of what I want my apartment to be like, and that's in no way what it is like at the moment. I think I could probably do a whole episode at some point just chatting about what it was like in the early days of living here, kind of the ways in which my whole mindset and outlook and worldview have had to change and adapt in order to do this crazy thing that I'm doing. And I feel like I could do a whole episode just talking about what I've learned about the importance of home, and how I don't recommend that anybody do it the way that I've done it. I really do think that the right way to approach restoring a big villa is to create a space for yourself that feels like home first, and go from there. And so I don't know, maybe someday I'll do a whole little chat about that. But for now, let's go take a look at the apartment the way that it is now. I've already started doing a little bit of work on it. There's a lot of work that is coming up here, so you'll be in there quite a lot in the coming episodes. So I hope that you'll enjoy kind of following along for the transformation that this apartment is about to undergo. And I apologize in advance for the really ugly, unpleasant footage that I'm about to show you. Believe it or not, the bedroom is looking the best that it's looked in a while. I need to get this clothing off of the bed. I'm reorganizing this set of drawers, which used to be right here, but it was kind of in the way of the door. And so when you would walk into the room, that dresser was sticking out like halfway or more through the door opening here. So you'd have to be careful not to run right into it. And then it just kind of looked ridiculous too, because you can see this door goes right up against this wall. So it really doesn't make sense to have a huge dresser on this wall here. So I moved it over there, and now I'm rearranging the drawers, which is why there's so much clothing on the bed. The bed was actually on this wall, and so I switched the bed to the other wall, which is really nice because now when you come into the room, you can just go around the bed. Before, in order to get to the other side of the bed, you needed to kind of walk a huge U all the way around the room. We're getting a TV in here, which we haven't had before. I just put these kind of runner rugs down, which makes a huge difference. And I brought this chair into here from the living room. I kind of love having it in here, though this bookshelf is ridiculous. We've never organized this bookshelf. Most of those books don't even belong to me. They're in German, and they were left here by the prior owner. And there's just a variety of random things. So, and this room, I'm sorry to say, is probably the best room so far. I don't know how I feel about this thing because it kind of takes up half the hallway. The bathroom is a total disaster. Dare I show you how badly organized it is? We have no kind of system for organizing the bathroom. We kind of use the bidet as, I don't know, a table or a stool because we don't use it. It's kind of really just in the way. The wall's crumbling here because we've got some moisture problems. This room is going to become the office / closet / dressing room, because our apartment has no closets anywhere, and there's really not room for a wardrobe in the bedroom here. Maybe I could put one in front of the bookshelf, but it's kind of a small bedroom and there's not room for a wardrobe and there's no closet. So what do? We're turning this room, which was the office, is now going to be an office and a closet, which is not the most elegant solution, but. And this room, I took the chair out of here to put it into my bedroom. We kind of set up this sitting arrangement for Christmas because we were going to have so many people in here watching movies, and this is the only TV in the convent that you can really watch movies from. You know, kind of a weird layout of furniture. There's some nice stuff, this lovely antique furniture that the prior owners left, but it's kind of just cluttered, not arranged particularly well. I'm not really sure that I want the TV on this wall. I think I'd rather have it over the fireplace, but I've kind of got to figure out whether that's even possible first. This bookshelf is just, I don't know, it's just collecting things. We don't really have kitchen counter space, so I've been using this table. We store the plates in there, and we store the cups in that big cabinet all the way on the other side of the room. The coat rack isn't really working. This was a big improvement that I made by putting this little table here. It actually used to be that this wooden table was along that wall there, and there was a bench behind it and chairs on this side. And so that was kind of like a dining table. That was kind of the dining room for this apartment. And I think it works better this way because we don't really need a 6 or 8 seater dining table in here. This little round table does the trick, and then that gave us some counter space so that we could have appliances over there. The lighting in this entire, in the whole apartment really needs a total redo. You can see it's really dark in here. There are no lights on the ceiling except for this chandelier, which only has 6 bulbs in it. And then, I don't know, this part of the kitchen is kind of my favorite area. Then the pantry is just kind of a disaster. We use the top shelf for our groceries, and everything else is kind of just like what was in there when we moved in for the most part. It's really, we've never done any organization in there. One thing that I've imagined in this room, because the ceiling beams are so beautiful, is to make this room a sort of library and do like custom shelving all the way around. Can't you just, wouldn't it feel like kind of a hobbit hole? Like a hobbit library if we did that? I think it would be amazing. Actually, I am kind of inspired by the Shire when I think about this apartment, because look, every door has a rounded top, and then they're all so beautiful. Are you even able to see this one because it's so dark in here? Let's try another one. Every door in here is kind of like a beautiful antique door, like these wooden double doors that all have rounded tops and these gorgeous handles on them, you know? And it's literally every door. It's this door, that door, the bathroom door, the bedroom door are all like that. To me, it feels like a hobbit house. Here's another disaster. This is not actually the wall. This is a piece of plywood. You can see down here because I've had to pull it out in order to fit cables behind it. There's literally just a board that's painted white that's been put over the wall because the plaster is totally crumbled off the wall. You can see it's starting to happen over here. So we've got some real moisture problems that we need to deal with in here. And I actually have some video that I took during a rainstorm that illustrates exactly what's going on that's causing this problem. So I'll show that for you now. And then I'll show you some video that I took more recently of what we have been doing to address the problem. And here you can see the issue that causes the damp problem that we have inside. I had to repaint the apartment behind this wall because the plaster had all crumbled. And this is why, because when it rains really hard like this, the water comes in to the covered part of the cloister and it just gathers. The whole cloister tilts down to this corner and the water just gathers up against the wall and seeps into it. Right on the other side of this wall is my bedroom. And then the problem of the crumbling plaster is even worse in my apartment because we haven't done anything to address it yet, but it gathers here along this wall, and even though we have plants here, they don't take up enough of it. And yes, you can see even the color of the stones is darker down towards the bottom because there's moisture that seeps into them, and then it goes through the wall into the apartment. Oh my gosh, look at Toadie right now. And that is very mystical. Giovanni and his team yesterday did a lot of work here in the cloister. We got proper downspouts in each corner. Before we had chains. Here they are. They were copper ring chains, and they were pretty, and they made like a lovely kind of wind chime like noise, but they didn't really channel the water as well as I need them to in order to keep the water out of this part of the cloister, because at least for now the ground in here is uneven. It tilts to the right towards the stone wall on the right, which has apartments behind it. The water just collects in here and soaks into the wall and is creating a damp problem. So we decided to put proper downspouts in here, and you can see it will guide the water down into the corner here where there's a little drain. There are drains in each corner. You can follow the like brick line there, kind of showing how the drains empty into, there's another one in the corner there on the left, and the drain empties into this cistern here. We've got some rain today to test out the new downspouts. So far, this is working. You see, there's the downspout, but there's also the old antique downspout. So there's a little bit of water that doesn't go into the tube. That's okay as long as this corner stays dry. And so far, we do not really have water coming into the cloister so far. So that's a good sign. Look at this in the crevice in between the tree and the building. You can see a sliver of the town of Toadie with the moon floating above it. If you haven't seen the video I made about bottling our olive oil, I will put a link to that video here. It also includes a tour of our olive groves and wildflower meadow. Please let me know what you think in the comments. If you liked this video, give it the little thumbs up. If you'd like to know when the next video is posted, please subscribe and click the little bell icon. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and ciao for now from Convento di San Giacomo.